What's going on, guys? It's your girl Tech Job Tina with another episode. On this episode, I want to touch on something based off a interview that I actually watched this morning. So, my brother from another mother, my course careers cousin, Joseph at Tech Niche Tips, right? He had an interview that he had done this morning with a young lady who went from being an SDR to being in customer success, right? And so she talked about her journey from SDR to customer success. And I thought it was a really enlightening interview. I actually put a link to that interview in the description because I think you guys should watch it. And it made me want to do a video where I actually talked about all the avenues that you can actually go into with tech sales, right? One of the biggest things that people don't realize is that you have options when you're going into tech sales and starting out. A lot of people may not consider all of their options. A lot of these companies, they push SDR to AE, SDR to AE. You can even see it in job descriptions where they say, oh, we have a clear pathway to AE for our SDRs, as though every SDR wants to be an account executive. And that's just not true, right? And I think a lot of SDRs, if they were aware that they had other options besides account executive, and they were aware what those other roles entail, I think you would see more SDRs actually opting to promote into different roles outside of AE. No, you're still going to have some that are always going to be account executive. But if you have like all the options in front of you and you understand all the options, I think the likelihood that SDRs would go into different roles would increase, right? So I kind of wanted to talk about that. So in tech sales, these are all the roles that you have, right? You have your entry level role of an SDR BDR, right? We all know what that role is, right? But you also have a customer success manager, right? You also have an account manager, right? You also have, we all know what an account executive is, right? And you have a sales engineer. These are all of the people that are a part of the sales team. Now, not every company has a sales engineer. So if you are somebody that has aspirations of becoming a sales engineer, make sure that the company that you're going to has sales engineers. Because if they don't, and that's where you want to go, it's like, okay, what are you going to do with that, right? You're going to be forced to eventually definitely just go to another company, right? So that's something to consider. And I want to bring this up because I want to talk about the salaries, right? Everybody just, puts account executives on this pedestal. Oh, they make so much money, blah, blah, blah. And it's a glamorized title, right? But did you know that you can also make six figures in a customer success role, account manager role, a solutions engineer role, or sales engineer role, right? So let's explore that a little bit. I'm going to go to RepVue because I want to look at those salaries, what the average salaries are. And before I do that, let me give an explanation of what each role is. So we know that an SDR BDR is an entry level role, and their main job is to build pipeline, get those leads, qualify, those opportunities so that they can feed those qualified leads over to the account executive so that the account executive can close on those deals. So as an SDR, BDR, your day-to-day is making a boatload of calls, sending a lot of emails, social media outreach, whatever you can do to get those prospects on the phone and book those demos, right? That is your job as an SDR, BDR, right? So an account executive, we all know what an account executive does. They are the closers, right? They close deals. That's what their job is. They close deals. And if you're an account executive at a company that does not have a solution engineer, part of your job is presentation, presenting those demos, right? You're part SE, part AE if your company doesn't have an SE, right? All right. So now let's talk about what an SE does. A sales engineer, their job, they're more on the technical side of sales. Their job is to conduct those demonstrations and be that technical product, expert on those demos. That's what their job is. They're a subject matter expert of the product. They can get super technical with it if they need to, right? That's what your SE does, right? And then of course, we have your customer success manager, right? They typically handle onboarding, training, for those new accounts. They do those kickoff meetings. They're the welcome team for the customer when they sign up, right? And depending on your company, a customer success manager may also deal in upsells. They may also deal in renewals, depending on the company that you're at, right? And then you have the account managers, right? The account managers, they deal with renewals, they deal with basically retention, upsells, things like that. They're working with current customers, right? Just like the customer success manager is working with current customers, right? So those are all your roles, right? So let's talk about salaries. So I'm going to share my screen with you right quick. Let's see here. Share my screen, share my screen. All right. So I'm in RepVue right now. I love RepVue. I put a link to it down below so you can check it out. A lot of good information here if you're going into tech sales. We're going to look at salaries by job role, right? So we're going to start from sales development representative, which is also synonymous with a BDR role, right? So here we have our averages. Your median base salary for an SDR is $55,000, and your median OTE is $82,000, right? And of course, it also talks about what the earning potential is for top performers. There are some SDRs that they're top performing and making $130,000 a year, right? So just kind of something for you to know. And they also got what the average quota attainment is, 55%, which is pretty decent, right? So of course they got other information in here. Notice the average deal size, right? $84,000, right? This number right here is why those top performing SDRs are able to hit $130,000 because they're at a company that has pretty nice size deal sizes, right? So as I was mentioning in a previous video for my members, I recently did a video that was for the members, is on the membership side, where I talked about the importance of deal sizes, right? And that being tied to how much money you can make at a company, right? All right, so let's this is the SDR. So we got a $55,000 base, $82,000 OTE, with top performers making $130,000 and a 55% quota attainment for an SDR BDR role, right? So let's also go and let's look at the next one. Let's look at our account executive, right? And we got plenty of buckets for account executive, right? Let's go through all the different types, right? We got the small business account executive, which is what I am. They typically deal with smaller companies up to a particular dollar size in most cases, right? Then you got a mid-market account executive. They typically deal with medium-sized businesses, right? Then you have an enterprise level account executive that typically deal with large, like massive size companies, right? And then you have strategic account executive. They usually deal with large deal sizes too, but they're very particular. A strategic account executive, you're closing a lot less deals, but those deals are like huge, right? Plenty of other options to choose from when you're looking at all the account executive roles, right? So I'm just gonna click in here and let's just go to account executive salaries, right? So your median base salary for an AE is $95,000. Your median on target earning or OTE is $180,000. And you see here your top performing earning potential for AEs is $454,000. And as you notice, the quota attainment is low. Why? Because it's hard out here for closers right now, right? So that doesn't surprise me one bit that the quota attainment is like 40%. Because it's hard out here in these streets for these closers. Okay. So this gives you a good idea there, right? All right. So let me see. And see right here at the bottom, they have the average deal size listed at $90,000 or 92 to be exact, right? So that's your AE role, right? All right. So keep that in mind. We're at a base salary for AEs on average, 95,000, median OTE, 180,000, with top performers hitting $454,000, right? So keep that in your brain. Let's go to the next one, right? So now let's hop over and let's take a look at the sales engineer salaries, right? All right. So your sales $135,000, a median on target earning of $190,000. Their top performing earning potential is $322,000. And you see their average quota attainment is 55.2%, right? So let's go down and see what the average deal size is that the SEs are working with. They're working with average deal sizes of $182,000, right? All right, so definitely something to consider. Nice size deal sizes on average for SEs. Good looking money right there. So let's go into the next one. Customer success, right? Customer success salaries. Median base salary for customer success, $95,000. Median on target earning for customer success, $125,000. With your top performing customer success managers making $207,000 $63,000, right? And take a look at that quota attainment, 63% on the quota attainment, right? Remember that number for the account executives was like just under 40%. So here we are with the current percentage of quota attainment for customer success managers, 63.2%. Let's go and see what their average deal sizes are that they're working with. Average deal size, $135,000, right? So that's some good money for customer success. You don't have to stress of closing the deals. You just need to handle onboarding, training, keeping the customers happy. You may be doing some of that renewal business. You may be doing a little bit of that, depending on how your company is set up, right? At some companies, customer success, they handle deals up to a certain amount when it comes to renewals and upsells, and then the account manager handles deals from a certain amount up to a certain amount, right? Depends on how the company goes. Everybody does it different, right? So that's your customer success money. Let's go to the account manager, see what they're looking like, right? Here we are, account manager roles. Median base salary for an AM, $95,000. Median OTE for an AM, $165,000. The top performing account managers are making $396,000. Current percent that attain quota, 47%. Still better than the AEs, right? But you notice that top performing number for an account manager wasn't too much different from the top performing number for the AEs, right? So something to consider, right? So you have so many avenues that you can go as an SDR. You don't have to be an AE if you don't want to. You can go solutions engineer route. You can go customer success. You can go account manager. And as long as you're picking the right companies, you're going to make great money, right? Definitely consider that when you land that entry-level SDR role. Really do your due diligence. If you're at a company that has all of those roles represented within your company, my advice to you is, if you're not really sure where you want to go from SDR, find someone to shadow in each one of those roles. Shadow somebody from customer success, right? See what their day-to-day is like, right? Shadow somebody on the solutions engineering team. See what their day-to-day is like, right? Shadow somebody on the account manager team. See what their day-to-day is like, right? Shadow somebody on the account executive team. See what their day-to-day is like, right? Before you make a decision, right? And figure out which role you think is going to fit you best and which role you think you would be the happiest transitioning into, right? So I want to stop this video here. I didn't want to make it super long. I just want you to realize that you do have options in tech sales, and some options that you may not have even considered. There's lots of good money to be made regardless of where you decide to go. Just some roles will probably be a little bit more stressful than others, but at the end of the day, it is all sales. So other than that, man, I'm going to stop this video here. I appreciate you guys watching. Peace and blessings. Bye.